With all the tech and innovations happening over the last couple years, there's a very large group of people that have been overlooked until now. So I partnered with Connecteam for this video to go over some AI features for the frontline workers, for the 80% of people who don't sit behind a desk. I will link to Connecteam below if you're interested in trying it out, and I will say it is free for teams less than 10 people. With that, let's jump into the video. So first, let's talk about auto scheduling. This, to me, is one of the biggest headaches when it comes to managing a team, because especially if you're sitting down on a Sunday night to figure out what your schedule is going to be, you have to think through what are the PTO requests? Are people going to be busy? Are they showing up on time? Texting people to make sure that they're available, or figuring out when to have people during peak hours. So I want to showcase this feature that Connecteam has, which is their AI scheduling tool. So this tool itself is super simple. You plug in your rules, your availability, the roles, the qualification, the different labor laws in the states or the countries that you're working in. You hit generate. Within seconds, your schedule appears with an auto-balanced and legally compliant list. And I've never met a manager who genuinely enjoyed putting a schedule together. So to have this level of automation or AI power behind your scheduling will save you hours and hours every single week, and it'll make sure that you are compliant legally. It'll make sure that you have all of the information that you need to know in terms of PTO requests or kind of employee availability and employee preferences. And it automates everything so that you are not scrambling or making mistakes and having to revisit your schedules every single week. Okay, so now that we have scheduling covered, let's talk about trainings. So Connecteam has built in within their platform an AI course creator specifically for training and SOPs for employees who either need to be updated on what information they need to know, or new employees who you're trying to onboard in a seamless way. And the problem, if you've ever done trainings, is that they're repetitive. You have to go over things again and again and again, and it's usually the same information, but just on a different day or with a new batch of employees. And if you have to onboard employees a lot, you know that training takes up a lot more time than what you would prefer. And this is where a lot of generative AI has benefited desk teams, because they fill out forms or they, complete a document if you go into ChatGPT. But we haven't really seen this technology for deskless teams. So people that are on the workforce who are maybe running a restaurant or managing a construction site, things like that. This tool is super cool because all you have to do is type in the type of information that you want to be training your teams on, and it auto creates the content for you. So in this example, we're going to say, create a training for kitchen staff on food safety for summer menus. And immediately Connecteam will build the course structure, the lessons, the quizzes, and it will have everything mobile friendly delivered. So it'll be perfect if your team has, a cell phone, or if you have an iPad on site, they'll be able to use this and take the training immediately within the Connecteam app. You can assign it, and then you can see who has completed the tasks automatically, all within the dashboard. And they can reference back to these, so you don't have to become the human FAQ if somebody is trying to figure out what this training is, or where something is located, or what the standard protocols are. They can go back to these trainings and see this information on their own. Let's talk about another common process that's usually an issue, which is forms. So typically what forms is you have, let's say on a construction site, you have somebody walking around with a clipboard that has a checklist of the top 5 safety things that they need to check, or you have a restaurant worker who is going through their closing and they say, okay, I need to go through this checklist and fill out everything on a form. So Connecteam has already had this built in their system as this form. But what's new with Connecteam is that you can actually take an existing form, instead of having to build it manually on your own in the system, you can scan it or take a photo of it and upload it directly into the system. And the system will go through, scrub the information, and create the form automatically within Connecteam. So instead of you having to sit down and do it yourself, or to build out the form and make sure everything is correct, the system will automatically convert it to a mobile-friendly form that can be quickly completed, just like all your other forms have before. You can assign it to the people that you need to assign it to, or the shifts that you need to assign it to, and that workflow remains exactly the same. And again, you can get real-time access or real-time tracking to see if you are having people that are, let's say, going through a construction site, or if they are going through the closing, or whatever the form is that you're creating. You get real-time access and tracking to see if it's been completed and by who. The next feature I want to talk about is smart voice input. Now, this is something that we have already baked into our phones. If you have like an iOS operating system like Apple or Samsung or whatever, a smartphone, you have a voice assistant built in, but a lot of that functionality isn't built into the apps specifically. So now instead of manually typing into the Connect Team app, you're able to speak directly into it, get clear, readable notes directly from the field that you can apply and save for later. So the obvious benefits of this is having a lot quicker notes. So instead of, if you are on site and let's say you're reviewing a system, or I'm going to use a construction example again. If you are on a construction site and you're walking around, it's not necessarily so easy to sit down and be typing with your head down versus if you say, this is okay, here's a note that I need to remember for next time. So obviously faster. It's way more natural in the field. And if you are the manager who is requiring these reports to be completed, it makes sure that you are getting more complete field reports versus if they just had to manually type everything, because sometimes people get lazy. The next huge feature, and I think this is going to be a benefit for a lot of people, is auto translations or enhancements. So this enhancement and the auto translator are technically two different functions within Connecteam, but they do work together really well. And once you get your message in, it will help you communicate clearly and quickly with polished, easy to understand messaging. It'll save time by instantly enhancing the tone and the clarity of any message that you are passing along. It helps you look really professional, whether it's just a shift update or an announcement. And overall, it'll help you reduce misunderstandings. And once all of this content is generated on the platform itself, it will auto translate information for your team in the language that's preferred for them. So, overall, just really clear communication for everybody. And the last cool feature that I want to talk about is the AI agent. So, with Connecteam's AI agent, you can type those type of questions into the AI agent and it will give you the information that you need, referencing, let's say, SOPs as an example, so that you can get the most up-to-date and official information without having to ask a coworker who maybe won't know, or asking your boss who might have to go and look at what the policies are. And when you think about it from a management side or from a business standpoint, having this information readily available to employees not only prevents people from getting confused or getting the wrong information, but it makes sure that everyone's getting the same information. So there's a lot more consistency and just generally people being on the same page and knowing, most importantly, where to find information when they need it. Here's my final thought, or my final takeaway when it comes to Connecteam and their AI tools. I think a lot of companies are investing in AI, or what they're doing for automations or kind of getting things moving. And a lot of those are more bells and whistles that make people kind of feel good, or it's easy to market. What I think is really cool with Connecteam, and the reason I partnered with them on this video, is I think a lot of the AI tools that they're actually bringing to the workforce are truly beneficial. And they really do serve an underserved community of 80% of employees who don't have a desk, but still want access to these tools to automate their jobs, to make their roles easier, and just in general, kind of bring them into the 21st century. So I did link below for Connecteam, and I want to reiterate that they do have a free plan up to 10 employees. So you will be able to use Connecteam as long as you want if your team is under 10. And if you do have a team that's bigger than 10 people, they do have a 14-day free trial, so you can test it out before you buy and make sure that it's something that you're interested in doing. And if you're looking for a full review of Connecteam, I have it on this video here. So with that, I will see you on the next one.